Welcome back to our channel. Today we will be chatting with a remarkable artist. Hello, Nikolas.
Hello, Angie.
Gonna show us a bit about your studio?
There is so much work to see. This is work that I've produced in the last 4 years.
What inspired you to do this?
I had a dream. I did. I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and I had a dream of having an exhibition actually at Patrick Painter's studio in Santa Monica at Bergamot Station. That was the dream. And in the dream, there was these profile faces, almost exactly like this, but they were made out of plexiglass. They were three-dimensional on the wall, and then there was movies projected on them. And I woke up and I made these drawings, and I went back to bed. And I woke up the next day, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And it's just grown into this particular mode of working and this particular mode of imagery. This is my white grandfather William, and this is my black grandfather William. And this is this rainbow that connects them, like the light that connects all of us. It's the light of the sun. You know, you think about all beings on earth live under the sun, and they're all connected across time by the light of the sun. It's the only piece that I've made that has a very particular personal narrative. In fact, all of the other pieces, it's literally the exact opposite. So literally there is no specific person who's being referenced, and in fact that's part of the point, because the point is for real people to respond, to potentially see themselves in the work. You draw these faces by pouring the paint. When I do the printmaking process from one side to the other, it transforms what I may think of as the drawing and completely creates an entirely new person. And I love that. I love that the process and a sort of free-form abstraction, a connection to sort of abstraction, even within the context of the figuration,
Exactly.
evolves this sort of very, I mean, you look at them, there's like, they have so much intricate, intimate, almost character to them. And that comes really through this process of printmaking, where subtle details like the way the nose has a certain feeling, or the way there's like a half smile, like this particular, I think of this as a woman. This particular woman, it seems very bemused. Maybe her eyes are shut, maybe she's laughing, you know, maybe she's thinking, maybe she's meditating. My dream for these luminous glass works is to create a form of architecture, which when we sit down, I'll tell you, I'm really realizing, which is gonna blow your mind actually. So,
yeah, I can.
So when I first started making these and dreaming of them, I realized that, first of all, we're surrounded by glass walls in modern society, and they really should be, you know, my paintings, and that this form of work just lended itself automatically to an architectural installation, whether it was just a small piece like this or a whole building.
So,
yeah.
So how do you see these being architecture as well?
Yeah, so this is what is happening, which is really an unreal, kind of surreal reality, has evolved into this form of public art and architecture, Luminous Community Center. This is being proposed for the heart of Richmond, Virginia. This is 40 feet wide, 40 foot square, 20 feet tall.
Amazing.
It's going to be all glass, layers of glass, and inside a specially fabricated building construction that has the LED lights in each framing wall. It's basically like a chapel. It's basically like a meditation space. It's really a event space.
Mm-hmm.
So any kind of event you can imagine can happen here. At night it glows. I mean, it glows during the day too, but at night it glows and it becomes this beacon.
Is that some kind of special plexiglass? Can it
It's
be
going to be
damaged with
layers of,
rain?
so I work with an amazing kiln-fired glass fabricator in Paderborn, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He's the 5th generation director of this incredible atelier. And we're going to be, we've already worked together in collaboration, but we're collaborating on this project. So there's going to be layers of glass and plexiglass. Plexiglass glows, and glass, the light goes right through. So combining them, you get this really amazing effect where the glow is moving through the glass, and the kiln-fired glass has this sharp edge. I just finished making 5 works that I made in August in Germany, and then I just came back from Florida where I was making the frames. Those are going to be in my exhibition in Santa Monica as the opening.
Do you have a philosophy behind this
Absolutely.
luminous thing?
Yes.
Also,
Well, behind the luminous work as well, there's different levels of philosophy and purpose and intention, certainly, that are very, maybe a little bit obscure or complicated. The community center is about bringing people together, solely to connect people, solely to bring people together and to inspire them, right? So to inspire them to want to change, to want to imagine a different, better world, right? I can show you this. So here's the 3D rendering for the project, which is kind of cool. You can cruise all around it. If you go to the website, luminouscommunitycenter.org, you can walk around and see the whole park, Monroe Park in downtown Richmond. And you can, by clicking on these little white dots and then using your trackpad, you can look and you can even zoom in and zoom out.
can anybody do this?
Yeah, anyone can go on this website and do this. And you can look at the Luminous Community Center. You can zoom in.
Space out.
The space out, exactly.
Yeah.
You can meditate.
Yeah.
You can meditate without even having to go there. But so just today, I'll tell you an amazing thing. So just today, I had an amazing Zoom, a fabulous Zoom, with a lady who is one of the very premier public art officials in the city of Los Angeles. And she is in love with my big dream, and that is to make what I call the South LA Luminous Community Center complex, south of Pico, and west of Figueroa.
Mm-hmm.
So central South LA is districts 8, 9, and 10. And my dream has been for years now. I grew up in LA, I was born in LA. And my mom lived in District 9 in South LA when she was a child, to make this project there as well. I want to make these all over the world, but what's amazing is that I now have this incredible ally who is the director of public art for the city of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. We're going to build a 4 or 5 acre complex with offices and classrooms, organic gardens, because it's all about uplifting the community that's been disenfranchised historically, right? I'm quarter black, my mom is 3/4 black. We grew up mixed race. I grew up mixed race. My mom grew up mixed race in Los Angeles in the 50s, 40s and the 50s. And we've seen that, she's seen that part of Los Angeles change in so many different ways. And I want to bring, just like in Richmond, I want to bring people of color into downtown Richmond and show them that that's their part of their city as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the right time too to
Yeah.
do something like this because
Yeah.
they're so. We're gonna do a fundraising in Virginia.
Well, the project, the Monroe Park Luminous Community Center,
Right. Yes, we have to.
is an incredibly ambitious project that might literally cost $30 million. I mean, there's no way it's not going to cost like 20. It will definitely cost like $20 million.
But I mean, now.
It's a huge. But
Yes,
so we have to do
exactly.
a great deal of fundraising.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Virginia.
we're having a dinner,
Yeah.
and we're giving a presentation to top people in Richmond. And it's at a hotel. And behind us on this big screen during the dinner, throughout the dinner, we're going to give the presentation at the end of the dinner, but throughout the dinner, this is going to be scrolling. So it's 260 images. So it's my work, the way that these patterns intersect, the way that these colors work together, the way that this abstraction forms into these figurative elements is really important to me.
Which are the artists that have influenced you the most?
That's a good question. I mean, there's so many. I love Jean Dubuffet quite a lot. I think that anyone sees my work, they can kind of see that. And I'm willing to, I dig that. So Dubuffet, I love Anselm Kiefer's work. I feel like his sense of the tactile, his sense of how materiality, and the political.
Did you see the big show in the one at Devotion recently?
Well, I saw the one that was here at the Masonic Lodge at the I forget who that. It was amazing. Yeah. Oh, totally
overwhelming.
amazing. Yeah, it was just.
I can see.
Awe-inspiring.
Some Kiefer in you.
And there's a lot of other.
And how about writers? You mentioned writers.
William Burroughs.
Okay.
William Burroughs quite a lot. There's Marquez, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That list is so long it's hard to know where to start.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a voracious reader. I literally am reading 10 or 15 books.
Are you
always?
So
always,
you're not afraid that you're going to run out of inspiration?
God no, absolutely not. Yeah, I was always struggling with how to capture my vision, and more than that, like create a rigorous, complete, and unified aesthetic. I jumped around in some different ways. Maybe other people would see that and think it was my work was pretty of a piece, but I felt I wasn't really there yet.
Yeah.
But when I went to school, when I got out of school and I started this, it was obvious I was there. Of my work, different titles in my work, and what I talk about in different contexts is it's a lot about the sun, and it's a lot about light itself, and it's a lot about organic, raw matter in the sense of physics, but also biology. Yeah, biology and chemistry, and really nature itself. So, I'm always responding to how the human species, human entity, human people, human creatures are existing in a natural world. And how we are both immersed in nature and separate from nature. So part of why I use the profile, the doubled profile, is process, the printmaking process. But another reason why I use it is because it creates this circle, this circular form that is sort of a womb, that is sort of a enclosed space, and so that everything outside of it becomes this chaos of matter and light and energy and color and form, which to me reflects kind of the nature of what's really going on around us.
And also there seem to be spirals.
Well, so those spirals are like a metaphor for electromagnetic energy. Because light, of course, is both a particle and a wave. And one of the metaphors that I'm toying with in my work is the idea that you make a painting for people to look at. People look at paintings with their eyes, of course. It's a banality, right? But it's just a fact. And in my paintings are entities who are also looking. So this sense of a recursion of ideas and of metaphors from reality to the art and back and forth and back and forth. Got this quote, it's just so perfect for my work. We don't have very many monuments to love, and for the community. And so it's time in the 21st century to reconsider what the role of public space is and why we gather around them, to reflect on the potential for it to change society for the better.
Yeah, what else is art for?
Yes,
to
yes.
enjoy it
Yes,
and to
yes,
do
yes.
change for the better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because were you a punk musician at one point?
Yeah, always.
you
Yeah, I
think
grew up with around punk rock. But I've always,
but
you know,
you were,
I love
then
punk
you
rock
were
and
into
indie
the
rock. And,
indie psychedelic.
yeah,
which is more
psychedelic.
loving.
Yeah. We were hanging out with Brian Jonestown Massacre, right?
Yeah,
That was our
but,
scene. That was our scene.
Right. It was so much fun.
Yes, it
But
was.
no,
That was a
just-
real scene. That was a
Yeah.
real scene. Art, I don't know, I would say art is having a renaissance, but art is really thriving, which is good. That's a good sign for our culture, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's other things in our culture that are so awful.
I know, you're feeling
so fucked up, so confused, so upside down, so backwards, right?
Yeah, but that's probably because of the internet. Like, people are getting so violent when they're not present in person.
Well,
They hide
we
behind
were
it.
already alienated from each other before the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet both is a cure for that, and it also feeds it.
Right.
So it's
We
paradox.
aim to be the cure, right?
Yes, we want to be the cure, not the
bad.
feeding. Yeah.
Oh, I have a question
Yeah.
from Manolo. He wants to know how you keep your beard looking so beautiful.
Very carefully.
What is your secret?
I don't know. It's just trimming it, you know.
Seriously, that's
yeah.
pretty
I'm just letting it
Yeah.
grow. Yeah. It got a little crazy. I had to trim it recently because it was getting a little bit like And you know, I try to avoid the homeless look myself, having been there, right? Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
no.
that's a priority.
Right. So now we want to invite people to.
Right, I have my second solo show in Los Angeles, opens November 11th, Saturday, November 11th at 5 p.m. It's in Santa Monica.
Yeah, we'll put it down in the.
It's in Rustic Canyon, which is right near a place that I lived for 3 or 4 years of my life that my dad lived. And I'd love to see people all come out. It's going to be really cool. Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be super cool.
Well, Nikolas.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
time.
This is
You are
fabulous.
So busy, but
This is fabulous.
It's so great to
Yes.
see your work.
Yes.
And
Well, and
chat
I
with
love.
you.
You've always been. I always have thought of you as such a super smart lady, and your art is so beautiful. And
Thank you.
You've been
Thank
like
you so
super
much.
active as a curator and as an artist, and so I feel really honored that you really reached out to me and that you're engaging in a dialogue, because that's what it's all about.
That's what it is all about.
Thank you.